I'm a 31-year-old guy who basically runs on logic. I like spreadsheets, high-quality espresso, and outcomes that can be predicted with reasonable accuracy. I'm an auditor by trade, so I'm literally paid to find discrepancies and fix them. I don't enjoy chaos, and I definitely don't romanticize uncertainty. My philosophy has always been that if you actually pay attention, most things tell you exactly how they're going to end long before the credits roll. My ex-girlfriend, Sarah, was the polar opposite. She was all about vibes, spontaneity, and making decisions based on how she felt in a specific 10-second window. We were together for just over 2 years. It wasn't some casual thing. We lived together, our families were intertwined, and we were already making vague but confident plans for the next year. I thought my structure balanced her out. Looking back, I was just providing the floor for her to dance on. The Monday before Christmas, I was at my desk deep in year-end audits. The office was quiet, that weird half-empty vibe where everyone is just counting down the minutes to vacation. My phone buzzed on the desk, and I figured it was a grocery list or a joke about a holiday movie. Instead, I read 10 words that quietly dismantled 2 years of history. Don't come for Christmas. My ex is coming instead. No apology. No, we need to talk. No softening language. Just a cold statement of fact, delivered with the same tone you'd use to cancel a dentist appointment. I didn't spiral. I didn't even get angry at first. I felt this weird distance, like I was looking at a balance sheet that suddenly didn't add up. I sat there and stared at my monitor for exactly 6 minutes. I know it was 6 minutes because I checked the system clock when I finally blinked. I was calculating. If someone is comfortable sending a text like that, they didn't just trip and fall into a mistake. They made a conscious decision. And if they made it that easily, they'd been preparing the exit for a lot longer than I realized. I don't believe in chasing losses. When an investment hits zero, you cut ties. I typed back one word. Enjoy. No punctuation. No follow-up questions. No, who is he? Or why are you doing this? I simply closed the message and went back to my spreadsheets. In my mind, Sarah was already moved to the historical data folder. About an hour later, I got a text from her younger sister, Mia. We'd always gotten along because she's a nursing student and has a similar appreciation for facts and order. She asked if I was still coming to the family dinner, and I just told her plans had changed. She sent me a voice note that filled in the blanks. Apparently, Sarah had crafted this elaborate narrative for her parents. She told them my firm called an emergency audit, and I had to fly to London for 2 weeks. Then, she told them her ex, Jason, had lost his job and his apartment, and that as a good Christian family, they couldn't possibly turn him away for the holidays. She was giving him the guest room I usually stay in. She'd been setting the stage for at least 2 weeks, lying to my face every night while she planned this charity act for her ex. This wasn't a confused girl moment. This was a strategy. She wanted me to sit quietly in our apartment, thinking we were fine, while she played house with her ex under her parents' roof. She wanted a safety net while she tested out a different trapeze. I thanked Mia for the heads up and moved into gear. I'm not flashy, but I have a high-limit card, plenty of unused vacation days, and zero desire to spend Christmas Eve in an apartment that smelled like her perfume. I booked a solo suite in Aspen. It wasn't a flex. I just wanted snow, silence, and a complete lack of emotional clutter. I updated my out-of-office, packed my bags, and left her spare key on the kitchen island. The call started that night. Once she realized I wasn't just being quiet, the panic set in. She sent texts asking why I was being weird if I was actually mad, and the classic, "We're still together, right?" She wasn't worried about my feelings. She was checking the stability of her backup plan. She wanted to make sure the door was still unlocked when she decided to come home. I didn't reply. 2 days later, she saw the charge for the Aspen hotel on our shared travel alert app. Suddenly, the dismissive tone turned into pure entitlement. She told me I couldn't abandon her on Christmas and that I was going to make her look bad in front of her family. That was the only honest thing she said the whole time. It was never about us, it was about her image. Christmas Eve in Aspen was actually great. I had an expensive steak, watched the snow fall over the mountains, and kept my phone face down. But I was still in the family group chat. Sarah had forgotten I was there. Or maybe she just assumed I'd keep being the reliable guy who wouldn't make a scene. On Christmas morning, I watched the disaster unfold in real time. Jason showed up late, already smelling like a bar. He started drinking her dad's top-shelf bourbon before noon and started making awkward jokes about the real favorite son. He was bringing up old memories that clearly made her parents uncomfortable. Sarah was clearly losing control of the narrative. Then, she made the final mistake. She tagged me in the group chat with a public message for everyone to see. Missing my hard-working man today. Wish you were here, babe. Work hard. It was total damage control. She was trying to prove to her parents that I was in London and that everything was fine. I didn't reply in the chat. Instead, I opened a private thread with her parents. I sent 3 things. Asterisk the screenshot of the "don't come" text she sent me. Asterisk the recording of Mia's warning about the London lie. Asterisk my hotel receipt from Aspen, showing I only booked it after she told me not to come. No commentary. No insults. Just the data. Then I dropped one line in the group. Chat. Looks like you're busy. The chat went dead for hours. While they were having the inevitable blowout in their living room, I was handling the final logistics. Sarah had a key to my place, but she wasn't on the lease. I called my building manager, told him I'd lost my keys, and had the locks changed immediately. I went to a local storage facility, rented a unit for 3 months, and moved everything of hers into it. Clothes, books, even her favorite mugs. I sent the access code to Mia. On December 26th, I was back in the city. My building manager called saying a woman was outside the lobby insisting she lived in my unit and that her key wasn't working. I told him the truth. She was a guest whose access had been revoked. She called me from the sidewalk, absolutely unraveled. She told me I'd ruined her life, that her dad had kicked Jason out after seeing the texts, and that her family told her they were ashamed of her. She said she had nowhere to go, and that I was being cruel. I told her, "You had a place, Sarah. You traded it for a feeling. I hope the feeling was worth the cost of the apartment." 2 weeks later, she cornered me in my office lobby. She looked different, smaller, less certain of herself. She actually had the nerve to say, "I really thought you'd fight harder. If you loved me, you would have shown up at the house and fought for me. You just gave up." I checked my watch because I had a meeting in 5 minutes. I told her, "I fight for investments with a future. You exited the partnership by text. I don't negotiate with people who have already sold their shares." She started crying and said she just wanted to see if I cared. I told her I did care, which is why I made sure the exit was clean and there was no room for a sequel. I went upstairs to my office. I sat down, opened a fresh spreadsheet, and started planning my Q1 goals. The lesson wasn't about the ex or the holiday drama. It was about believing people the first time they tell you where you rank. If you're not at the top of the list, there's no point in staying on the chart. Would you like me to write a follow-up about what happened when her parents tried to reach out to me later, or how she tried to use her friends to get back into my good graces?